Hey everyone, thanks for checking out my video on how to get S plus on all difficulties, part 3, chapter 3. Okay, so now this particular chapter, we're going to dodge a lot. For the most part, it's because we don't need to fight much and just get very specific treasures here and there. So you may think it's a little weird that we're just dodging and ignoring a lot. I do want to say one thing about this chapter that may or may not influence how you play it, and it has to do with Doggo here. The community has pretty much found out that if you save the dog, it makes the boss fight with El Gigante a lot harder. Well, not harder, it just resets his health once the dog appears. You have the option of leaving him, and it'll make the boss fight easier. That's something that you can do. And, there's no right or wrong in terms of speed. So that's completely up to you. But I tend to just to save the dog, both as a personal thing and because I don't really have an issue with the extra health reset based on how I've been playing the game and the strategies that I'm going to suggest. So if you want to follow along with the dog being saved, go for it. If you do not want to save the dog because you just don't want to reset the boss health, then don't. But that's your choice. So from here, I am going to save him. And I'm going to continue from here. So this is an interesting section. There's going to be some zombie dogs, or I think they were called, actually I don't remember what they're called, but whatever, dogs, you know what I'm talking about. You can stop them from spawning, and it has to do specifically with this coming up guy. So once you see him, if you take him out, the dogs will not spawn. I failed. So they will spawn now. So if you want to stop them from spawning, take him out. It doesn't matter if you take him out or not, and if you don't want to deal with the dogs, you can dodge the dogs almost immediately, actually. You don't have to really face them. Because in my video, my first chapter, I didn't actually loot the village. I'm going to do most of it right now. So if you looted the village earlier in your chapter 1, then none of this stuff would be here. As long as you don't go past the middle section of the map, the enemies will not spawn. So this is one of those personal choice type things. When it comes to this section, you can choose to come through this house or go underground. I recommend you go through the house for the simple reason that when it comes to dodging the enemies here, it's not that difficult. Just ignore them. Don't waste your ammo on them. They're going to not follow you anyway. Now, I'm going to go to photo mode and I'm going to show you something here. So the items that are in here, they're going to stay in here in chapter 5 as well when you run back through here with Ashley. So this is a decision for you to make as well. If you're low on items, like for whatever reason, chapters 1 and 2 went really poorly for you and you weren't able to restock, break these items, get everything here, and then continue. If you're okay on items, like I am now, so let me just show you what I have. So I'm actually very well on items right now. So I'm going to leave them here. And let's go back to photo mode. The reason for that is if you take them now, when you come back, there's not going to be anything here. So if your chapter 4 goes really bad and you don't have anything to restock here, it could affect you. So this is a situation where you make a judgment call. Do you take the items now because you need them? Or do you save them for later in case you need them? And that's up to you. I personally can't recommend one or the other because, like I said, there's no way of determining which one worked, which one didn't. The one thing I will say though is break this box and only this box, because there's always going to be a Viper in here, whereas everything else is going to be RNG based on your equipment. So definitely break that one box here to get the Viper out of it, which we're going to sell. I'm going to leave everything else here for later. Well, I guess technically this box here is always going to be the same thing. It's going to be a first aid spray. This treasure up here You can take it out now or later. Up to you. So once you're out of here, just break that barrel. Now this is where the game is going to start changing a little bit for everybody. What I highly recommend is, let me sell that Viper, is that you buy the bolt thrower now. It's on sale and it's going to be essentially the main weapon of the run. If you've never used the bolt thrower, it is a fantastic weapon, but it requires some practice. And the reason for that is that it has two types of hitboxes. I mean, aiming reticles. So the first one, when you don't have any explosives on it, is going to look like this. And it lets you shoot your bolts. And you can always pick those bolts back up. So essentially it has infinite ammo. The thing about this weapon, here, there's a treasure, I mean not treasure chest, hive here. Take that for some items. The thing about this weapon is that because it has got two different cursors, it could throw you off if you haven't practiced with it before. Break that box there, and then we're also going to get the tombstones. See them right there? You want to hit those two. Even though it's right next to the Ganala, you can get them. Not really worry about it. Don't enter this area here. There's a guy in there. He will always be in there until chapter 5. So it's not something I recommend, and the items in there aren't really worth it. It's like small resources and handgun ammo. So I don't recommend going in there. Back to what I was saying about the bolt thrower. The item takes a little bit of practice to get used to, because like I said, the two cursors, they have different sways, different bullet arrow trajectories, and if you're not used to it, it could feel like an underwhelming weapon. So it's really up to you if you want to use it or not. Now make sure to get this box, and we're going to run to the back. The reason I suggest we do this now instead of later is because in chapter 5 I'm going to talk about a glitch you can do, assuming it hasn't been patched yet, but I'm assuming not. So get this flash grenade, and I'll just talk about it and I'll show you how to do it if you want to do it. So if we get these items now, we don't have to come through here. And if we don't get them and you don't do the glitch later, then you can just get them later. Alright, so from this point, we're going to run through pretty much the rest of the level. So run with the shotgun out. You don't really need a lot of ammo. These 4 shells, I believe it's enough. Again, like I mentioned earlier, the boxes, they're going to stay here if you leave them here. So I recommend that you leave them here for later, just in case you need them. Oh, let me push through. There we go. Now I got hit there, and that's fine. I'm going to use that now. Sometimes you get a bad hit and they block each other like that. If that happens, that's fine. Just take another shot. But once you run past that, they won't chase you anymore. So this section here is essentially done. Now, this part here, if you have a flash, you can take out all the crows. Or if you have a grenade. I'm going to use a grenade. The reason I want to use a grenade is because it lets me do damage to this guy too. Once he's down, I switch to the pistol. Take it out with the pistol. There we go. If you don't have a grenade for this section or a flash, which is possible unless you picked up the other flash from earlier. But if you don't have any of it for whatever reason, you can just ignore these guys and run past it. I don't recommend it because of the fact that it's a lot of loot that we're just leaving behind. But once you're done here, shoot this and shoot that emblem. When I was originally writing the guide for this particular level, I had a hard time determining whether or not to actually get the emblems. And I basically came to the conclusion that yes, we should get the emblems. Like, the emblems are just too good to forget. I made some shotgun and sniper ammo there because I needed the space. If you can see here, I'm already out of brim. So in terms of inventory management, definitely make items, especially ammo. Good ammo though, not handgun ammo. You never need to make that. But make the good ammo when you need to make room. Because you will need room sooner or later. And the next inventory upgrade isn't until the next chapter. Now, the treasure chest we picked up right now is for that puzzle down there. We're not going to do that puzzle. That puzzle is a nightmare unless you practice it. So it's just kind of a waste of time to get it. Okay, this is not looking good in terms of inventory. I'm way too much. Okay, so aim down here towards this tree. And you can kind of see a nest right there. You want to shoot that nest. Now we're gonna get 3 items here. I'm gonna go to photo mode. Okay, so to the right down that segment is a small treasure, which is the antique pipe. Oops, sorry, hit the mic. To the left over there, where that little lift is the second emblem. The third emblem is in that shack right there. But if we go to that shack too early, we're gonna spawn the bullhead. And then on top of those 2 emblems, the pipe and the bird nest that we dropped, in the very, very back, almost towards the key, there's going to be another treasure chest for the second piece of that tile puzzle. And we do want to get that on all difficulties. If you possibly can, you can try to get the Viper here. If you see it, it's in your path and it's no risk to you. Don't get it if it's like a high risk, low reward type situation. So as soon as you come down, turn left. This stops the bullhead from spawning in your path. He still spawns, but he won't be in our path. So what you want to do is run this way. Climb up here. Watch out for the archer up there. For that one reason. Ouch. So hit that emblem. They're not as aggressive on their difficulties, but definitely hit the emblem. Now, once you finish this segment here, run the long way, trying not to get hit. I'm just not really caring about the hits right now, because I have the full heals and I need to make room in my inventory. Hit that one there to get the treasure. Yeah, I hear you. I'm gonna go the long way here. There is dynamite here. Well, not dynamite, the bomb. Make sure you don't accidentally set it off yourself. Once you do that, jump down here. Hit this emblem here. So we just need the one in the shack. I don't know what hit me there. Was there somebody in? So his fucking melee, I'm about to censor that, but his melee went through the wall and it hit me there. Alright, so grab the chicken egg. Grab that. Here is going to be situational based on what you have. You have the shoddy, use the shoddy. Don't have the shoddy, don't worry about the shoddy. Use a few shots. Grenade. Now come in here, get this small key, and adjust to what you need. Okay. So now all we need to do is get the last emblem in the shack. That one's the trickiest one to get if you don't have a flash grenade. Hopefully you still have it from earlier. The reason we want the flash grenade is because we're going to flash everybody here. If it comes down to it. You can kind of run it. Remember that chicken egg from earlier? That's where it comes in. And we're done with this area. We got all the emblems in our path. And we got everything in there. including the treasures. Even though I took a beating, and it really only happened because I wasn't caring. Like, if I tried to dodge him, I could have dodged him. I just didn't care. I literally needed to make room, and I still have 2 full heals. We were able to get out of there. So remember, do not interact with that because you're going to place the 2 treasures on there on accident. You don't want that. Okay, so let's put this here. So the reason we wanted to sell our combat knife and increase the drop rate for disposable knives is because we're going to use them to make bolts. We don't have the recipe right now because we have to buy it, but it is going to be a very big factor. The last emblem stand here, by the way. It's going to be a very big factor on this run. Okay, so if you haven't practiced Dalago, he can be a very annoying boss, especially on professional. When you're spearing him, if you don't do enough damage by a certain point, he basically gets like double health, and it's really annoying. If you're on any difficulty except professional, you can pretty much one cycle him and finish him off within 13 to 20 spears. Like, even on the easiest difficulty, he takes 13 spears. Like, 13 perfect spears. Damn it. Okay. So if you were playing assisted, you could have ended the fight by now. It's going to appear over there. Aim it high. There we go. High again. Got him. So whenever he dives down like that, always hold right, because he always appears on your left. Ah, damn it. And then when it comes to dodging debris, that's situational. So if it's on your right, go left. If it's on your left, go right. But for dodging Dalago, always hold right. Like, it's... I think there's only one segment where he goes the other way instead of... he comes from the right instead of the left. I missed. This is a really annoying fight, honestly. Like, out of all the bosses in the game, I personally feel that this one is the, while iconic, I feel it's the least balanced in terms of overall gameplay. Because you're always going to do a very specific amount of damage, and you can't speed it up on any difficulty unless you do perfect throws. Oh no, I'm going to get hit here. Yeah, he gets a little hectic once he's about to die. He just starts going all over the place. If I can hit probably 3 more. Hold left. Oh no, I went completely wrong area. Okay, so let's go here. 2 more maybe. 1 more. Come on, come on. I missed. Okay, so it wasn't 3. That's 4. There we go. That's over. Okay, so yeah, this chapter is very forgiving in terms of ignoring everything. And I personally suggest you ignore everything. Simply because a lot of the boxes, you can get them on your way back in chapters 4 and 5, which will make your life significantly easier. So it ultimately comes down to your starting stats. If you're very low on equipment, then yes, for sure, break the boxes, get the stuff, and move on. If you're fine, or you have an abundance of items, ignore them. Leave them alone, because you can always get them back after chapter 4. Because we do need to replenish after the El Gigante fight. So for this one, like normal, just save after you're done. And that's it for chapter 3. So I'll see you in the next one. If you found this video helpful, then consider giving it a like as it really helps out my channel. Thanks for watching and have a great day.